what you're saying about the actual problem continues on probably brings us nicely to probably the last area of our discussion, which is about cryptocurrencies and gold and the nature of the currencies. Because a lot of people will say, yeah, we get it. Yeah, the fiat currencies, that's the problem. It's money creation. They would have outlined it with regards to interest. But they'll say, yeah, fiat currencies are the problems. What we need is crypto. And I won't even try and recount all their arguments in favor of it. But what's your take on that? To say, the problem is the central banks and they're printing the money, and what we need are distributed networks of people creating currency, and everyone can be a part owner, and that's how we're going to release everyone.
Right. Well, I think again there's the diagnosis and then there's the solution. And on the diagnosis front, it's certainly true that if you have an account with one of the major commercial banks, and you're a disliked person, then there is someone in a central bank somewhere in the world who can press a button and cancel your wealth. And people who are in favor of cryptocurrency say that this is a system where that doesn't happen. It can't happen. There's no one there who's going to press a button and your wealth will suddenly evaporate or be frozen so that you can't use it. And they are railing, therefore, against central bank power and centralization of authority over money and wealth. And that is a diagnosis of a problem, which is correct. There's a central bank, there are a few large private banking firms, and if they don't like you, then they can come up with some reason to close your account, cancel your wealth, stop you getting access to it, and so on. And as an issue of basic justice, it should not be the case that somebody in an unseen place, somewhere who you've never met, should be able to just take your wealth because they don't like your politics, for example, or they don't like your nationality.
Or your journalistic activity.
Or whatever it is.
Julian Assange.
So that's a correct diagnosis of an issue, that central banks have too much power and therefore we need an alternative. Right? The alternative now, cryptocurrency. I would say that cryptocurrency is something that is it's a record on a database. If I had a record on a database that I own gold in a bank vault in Zurich, for example, which I do, I have a debit card, which has some gold, not a huge amount, but that gold is in a vault in Zurich, and if I use my MasterCard from this supplier, I can tap it at a shop anywhere in the world, and it will pay for my produce with gold by a database entry. My database entry will reduce by the amount of gold that it takes to pay that supermarket in their local currency. Now, I don't have a problem with owning gold via a database entry held on that debit card. Right. However, in the case of cryptocurrency, the database entry is the asset. And for me, that's a big problem.
Say that again. Explain that. The database entry is the asset.
Right. So if I own a house, for example, there is a database entry at the land registry which says that I have title to a house.
Yeah.
Right. So there's the database entry and there's the house. Now, the reason it's important not just to have the database entries is because I want to live in the house. I can't live in a database entry, right? That's critical. The house is what provides me with the use and the value, not the database entry. The database entry only perfects my ownership of the house. Now, if I have a database entry saying that I own gold, the gold is the thing that perfects my value. It protects me, right? Let me give you another example.
No, I understand.
I'll give you one more example. If I have an army, I can fight and defend myself against an invading force, right? If I only have a database entry of an agreement with my neighbour over the sea that they won't attack me, I don't have any guarantee, right? There are things that database entries and written records cannot do for you, that only a physical asset can do. And I am of the belief, unless someone shows me a very, very good argument, that money has to have a physical dimension. I don't believe the law should enforce that, but I do believe people should be given the freedom of choice. And if they were given the freedom of choice, they would choose gold and silver. And I will tell you one example of why they are not given that choice. Charter Article 10 of the IMF, for any member of the IMF, requires that that country's government cannot make gold a medium of payment if it wishes to continue its membership of the IMF. And I will ask why, in a free society, does such a law exist?
When gold and silver have been used as the major currencies for all of humanity.
Why? Why suddenly are we prohibited from doing something that so many people would choose to do?
And what's your answer to that?
Because it's an essential thing to maintain the fraudulent fiat money system that we have with commercial banks, that the alternative that most people would choose is denied them.
Okay. And so with respect to cryptos, in a way, the database entry is not enough. It can't be money in of itself.
It's still belief-based, essentially.
Because it's
whether
ultimately
it doesn't have an intrinsic value as well.
Yeah.
It's a record on a database system that we don't really know who created it. We don't really know where it is. We don't know whether anyone has a back door to it. And tomorrow it could just be worthless. Nothing. That will never happen to gold.
I see your point.
Never. Gold in the back of your pocket will never become worthless. It may reduce in what it can buy in terms of its purchasing power, and may increase, but you will. I think there are very things I say never, but I believe people will never wake up and find that their gold is worthless. I do believe they will wake up one day and find that it can't buy much, and I believe that they will wake up one day and find that it's the only valuable thing in society, because there are hadith on that basis.
Yeah, that's correct.
But I do not believe that you will wake up and find that it just doesn't exist anymore. That can happen to any cryptocurrency.
What about the criticism of gold that, you can just, you can't print it, but you can go dig some up? So isn't it kind of similar?
Yes, right. So on this, we have to recognize, first of all, that on Bitcoin alone, which is only one of the cryptocurrencies, that the amount of electrical power that's required to sustain this system is now equal to that of a country like Germany, I'm told now.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a huge amount of resource consumption, which I think is not much less or more than the amount of effort which is going into the global mining trade for gold and silver. However, what we can go further and say is that the cost of bailing out the United States from the financial crisis of 2007 and 8 was several times the amount of cost of mining of gold and silver globally. Right? So if you want to compare the existing fiat money system to the system of gold mining, if it's a waste of money to mine gold and have gold as our money system, then it's 10 times that waste of money to bail out the American banking system in just one crisis, right? And you add all the other countries which bailed out their banking systems in that year, so maybe 50-fold the cost of mining gold. So one has to put things in perspective. It may be that Bitcoin is safer from acts of freezing and preemption and cancellation that central banks might inflict on you as a fiat money holder. Maybe, yes, Bitcoin or cryptocurrency is free from that kind of, maybe, we don't know. But the cost of sustaining it is substantial, and I would say that it's probably of the same order of the cost of mining gold and silver. And for me, the fact that gold and silver has a physical presence which cannot be taken away from you, except by force in your own private domain, then I go for gold as a basis for our monetary system. I go for that system of production because it has what the cryptocurrency advocates say about their own cryptocurrency, that there is a factor cost in producing it. It can't just be created out of nothing. Gold has that too, but it is a regulatory...
Because you need to buy tractors and workers to dig it out of the ground.
Yes, that's right. I mean, and this balances the price level and the monetary, the creation of money in a society, in fact, because if you have a shortage of money, the prices are low because people can't buy things. So your tractors and your shovels are cheap. So you buy them and you dig gold, and then gold is converted into money at the state mint. However you organise that system, there are various ways, but it will be done. And money supply will increase, and then prices will increase, and your tractors and shovels will become more expensive. And so the amount of gold you can dig with them isn't worth it. So, new gold doesn't come into circulation so much. So we have a kind of reduction of gold relative to the economic dimensions of the economic system, and gradually then money supply reduces, and relative to production and prices of capital goods decrease again, and now it becomes profitable to buy capital goods and mine gold, so money supply increases, and that kind of balance is something which automatically, and this is an important point, it automatically, according to the price signal, balances the creation of money in society because you have this factor cost of production. As the cryptocurrency people say about their system, the commodity money systems have that. And the reason it's very important is because at the moment, the creation of money is totally arbitrary. It's a bunch of guys in a central bank who sit around a table and say, shall we produce some more? Yeah, okay. And where is
I think the answer is always yeah, okay as well.
Sometimes they want to reduce it. So we may come across
Yeah.
a scenario in the next few years where the banking system decides to contract money supply.
Well, they're going to raise the interest rates around then.
Or whichever method they do it. But the issue is that if, we say we're in a free market economy. If we're in a free market economy, why this table of men sitting in a central bank arbitrarily, privately, without a price signal, why do they have the power to suddenly determine the most pervasive price in the economy, the most pervasive signal in the economy, which is the interest rate on money? Right? Where's the free market there? Why suddenly doesn't it apply anymore?
Which will ironically increase the money supply in the long term and therefore actually increase inflation, not decrease it, actually.
And they have the right to decide and encourage the creation of more money, both by the central bank and by the commercial banks. So all of this happens without any price signal at all. So the arguments here, I can see why cryptocurrency advocates will say, yes, we have a factor cost of production, we're free from manipulation and acts of freezing and so forth. But the question really is, which is the safest place to store your wealth? And if you ask that as a personal question, you can ask it in terms of profitability for sure, which is the most profitable place to get it. Definitely has been Bitcoin and other cryptocurrencies over the last couple of years. It's zoomed up in value. But the safest place to get, and in the long run, where is the safe? I would still myself go for commodity money.
Well, thank you very much, Tarek, for the insight that you've given us and for the information that you've provided. Where can people find more of your work? What would you recommend they do to find out more about your perspectives on things?
Well, they can email me, I guess. I don't want to be overwhelmed. I don't know how popular your channel is.
I would not be giving you email out on this video.
Oh, well, okay, that's fine. My books, unfortunately, they're out of production, the problem with interest. I might have to reprint that.
How ironic.
Yeah. It's
he's going to print more of his books.
More have nothing. Yeah, make some money.
Well, if they can do it.
If they can do it, I can.
You can do exposing them.
There are online articles at Islamic-finance.com. I don't maintain that anymore. I've had to sort of earn a living, and pay for feeding my family and all that. So it's really an archive now. But Islamic-finance.com. You'll find some articles about this from way back when.
Well, thank you very much, Tarek. And to you guys at home, thank you very much for watching. You can subscribe to our YouTube channel. We'll very much appreciate it. If you like this discussion, leave us a like and comment below on any issues that you had with it. Do you disagree with things? Do you really agree with things? Has it been enlightening for you? Or do you think that we have some problems that we need to iron out? If so, let us know. We're going to have a discussion in the comments as well. Also check out our website, rationalreligion.co.uk. If you're really interested in the economics part of it, go to the topic index at the top of rationalreligion.co.uk, scroll down to economics, and we've got all of our articles and our videos listed there, everything that we've done on economics. So until next time, thank you very much, and peace be upon you.
Peace be on you.